Okay, I could put makeup on eventually. All right, we're going to do cook the books, tomatoes. That was a fright. I think we wait for the light for a little bit longer. All right, so tomatoes. Tomatoes are a lot of, mainly in summer. One of the things that I do with my tomatoes, that right now I am coming to the end of the harvest season, and I've used a lot of my tomatoes for a variety of different things, and I think I'm going to have to put the light on because the light is, if I put, no, that light's not going to work either. Hold back, it don't look too good. All right, so I'm growing tomatoes, and that I tend to pick my tomatoes when they're getting to that orange stage before the birds like them, and I will ripen them on my sink or my bench here in the sun. And so now these are my fresh ones coming up. I also do have some whole ones as well, which are ripening up. I had a rat in the garden, so I had to get those ones out of the way so that I could do some intervention. Okay, so what's going to actually happen, what I do with these, do you know, when you get tomatoes that are actually in your fridge for a while and they get a little bit beyond like having them fresh in salad, and you know what you end up doing is you end up bypassing them and you end up keeping them for a while and a while longer and a little bit longer again, and what ends up happening is they'll end up going soft on you. So what I do is when they get to that stage, like this is a really nice, really lovely ripe one, very tempting to eat. I would, these are the little cherry tomatoes which have come off my bush, and that, so yeah, look, just really tiny, and really they'd be nice to throw into a salad, but they're starting to get beyond it, and I'm afraid that I'm going to end up wasting them. And so what I'm doing here right now is, can you freeze fresh tomato? Yes, you can. The only thing you can't do is you can't have it into a, can't put it into a salad, not so good. But you can actually freeze them and they're good enough. Like I'm just picking these out. See, a couple of them have gone rotten already, being in this bowl in the fridge. So that's why it is time. It is time. There's a song about that, isn't there? Or was it a political song? Who knew? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of these now into a bag, like you all know how I do. And I'm going to end up freezing them. So there, that's all of my tomatoes out of my little container that I actually have. And then I will clean that container while I'm waiting for the next lot that are going to be ripening up, and so that I'll stop the ripening process. When they're out on the shelf, they will keep on ripening and ripening and ripening. By me putting them into the fridge, that will actually slow down and stop the ripening process. It's got something to do with the enzymes in the tomato. The cold seizes it, and this is done. So, and from there, all I'm going to do is, I end up having lots of these little bags of bits. So I'll throw that in there, and I'll freeze it. And there's got some other big pieces in there, and that gets frozen. The other thing is, I will demonstrate with a small tomato how many people end up having a sandwich. And what's one of the common things that you actually do when you're making a sandwich and you're slicing it? You take off the top and the bottom. Now, pretend that this is actually a large tomato, because I don't have any large ones that are ready at the moment. So these are imagine, two large-ish pieces, tops of tomato. They don't go in the compost. No. They go into your freezer bag, and you keep them. All those bits will collect. you will have some tomato pieces, celery pieces, capsicum, whatever, and there's enough there, you find after a while, that you can actually do a soup with. And that, or as a base for a casserole, and you don't have much money, go and forage into your freezer and you can take a bit of this and a bit of this and a bit of this, whack it together. Even if you're just going to do some mushrooms and eggs, it'll be magic. The only thing that doesn't freeze really well is zucchini. And that's a real shame because I love my zucchini. So there you go. Tomatoes, cook the books.